Yes, we're back. Another episode of SRL Sports, Rap, and Life. Of course, you know I'm your host, Sports King. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this page. This is just a recap after week number 2 in the NFL, just to show where I stand. You know, if you missed my previous blog, I did post my predictions. And I must say, I was more impressed than I did in week 1. If you don't know, week 1 I ended at 8-7-1 with the tie between the Browns and the Steelers. But this week I ended in, drum roll please, 9-6-1. This week, 9 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie. Whoever thought we would see, so many ties in the first 2 weeks? It's just very interesting to see the Vikings, the Packers tie, and then week 1, as I mentioned, the Browns and the Steelers. Just show the level of competition this year. But yeah, let's get into it. Week number 2 in the NFL, a lot of great matches. I'm gonna go ahead and just recap who I predicted who won and also my losses. So I do have my definitely handy notepad with me. So yeah, as I mentioned, the Bengals and the Ravens. That I went for the Bengals. They did get the win in that, so that made me start off at 1-0 on that Thursday night game. What a great game that was. But yeah, going into Sunday, we had the Chiefs and the Steelers. Man, is it me or can we just put it out there? Is Patrick Mahomes going for MVP? Is it too early to have that talk? Because Patrick Mahomes, man, he came to play. I mean, he did everything that he wanted to do. I mean, looking at his stats, 326 yards, 6 touchdowns. Amazing. I mean, at the first 2 weeks, I must say, man, he is definitely gunning for MVP, in my opinion. If there's anybody else who stand out, somebody I may have missed, you guys comment below, let me know. But I really just think that Patrick Mahomes, just looking at week number 2, he's definitely MVP of the league. Looking at that matchup, I must say I was definitely impressed. The Steelers, they have to figure something out. Really right now from the offensive standpoint and on the defensive standpoint, they have to figure something out. Their defense looked lackadaisical. Those cornerbacks and Artie Burns and the rest of the guys, is really they really need to get back to the drawing board and seeing what type of adjustments that need to be made, because at this rate, the way they're playing, they're definitely headed towards a downward spiral. And trust me, you don't want that really definitely to happen. But really great win for the Chiefs. I definitely did predict the Chiefs to win, so I started off very well in that matchup. Next was the Dolphins and the Jets. As you guys know, I always throw that disclaimer out there. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going for Miami. And they definitely impressed, and they definitely got a win. Going off to 2-0. Great job, Dolphins. Great job. Clap it up for those guys. Great win. The Jets, looking at it, the Jets, they always, to be honest, they always had our number. They were always able to beat us, but, I just thought it looked like they have to go back to the drawing board as well and definitely see exactly what type of defense and offensive adjustments that needs to be made. But, hey, that's not my job to do. I'm glad that the Dolphins won. Great win. Go Dolphins. Next was the Bucks and the Eagles. The Buccaneers and the Eagles. As you know, I did predict the Eagles to win, but you have to give it up. The Buccaneers, they came out, they played. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Wow, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know, man. He had like a whole different swag to him. And even after the win, if you look at his post game interview, he came out there jewelried up. He had on Deshaun Jackson's jacket, and he had a whole different type of swag. He stood out that game. Looking at his stats, 402 yards, 4 touchdowns. Great win for the Buccaneers. It really looked like they really got their groove back. So my question is, what are we doing with Jameis Winston? Comment below. What are your thoughts? What should we do with Jameis Winston at this point of time when you have Ryan Fitzpatrick just coming out there and he just blazing? Let me know what's the next steps for Jameis. But great win, Bucks. Next was the Saints and the Browns. The Saints, I did predict for them to win. They got the win. Great win. Drew Brees came out there, threw for 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great win. The Browns also look really well. I don't know, man. For some reason, to be honest, I really think the Browns may be the sleeper. of the NFL this year. I really think, despite them being all 1-1, I definitely think they're gonna come up with some impressive wins. And I really think that's gonna be the team a lot of people tend to sleep on, especially throughout their history. Historically, they really haven't been impressive, but I really think they got something to prove. So I really won't be surprised if that team definitely stands out and makes some noise this year. But great win for the Saints in that match. Next was the Colts and the Redskins. I definitely went for the Redskins, but the Colts did definitely come and win. Great win for Andrew Luck and those guys. One thing I noticed in that game, Andrew Luck, he's kind of a guy to know who he's known to make I guess decisions that a lot of other quarterbacks don't make. He take a lot of chances. I know he threw for 2 interceptions, but he definitely also threw for 2 touchdowns in a great win. But my thing would be to sit him down a little bit and just have him look at some game tape and really his decision making. It definitely got to be a little bit better. He's no longer a rookie. Those rookie mistakes you can't be making. But needless to say, they got the W. So great win for the Colts. Next was the Chargers and the Bills. I went for the Bills in this matchup, but the Chargers definitely came. Looking at the stats, Phillip Rivers, he threw 3 touchdowns. Great win for the Chargers. I must say that's another team that I really think is going to really be impressive. They got a lot of great offensive threats, great receivers, probably some of the best receivers in the league. With Phillip Rivers being a vet, I definitely think they're going to be making some noise. So great win for the Chargers against the Bills. Next was the Vikings and the Packers. I don't know. I don't know, man, because in this match, when I watched that game, it was back and forth. The Vikings, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, you have a kicker. I wrote down his name because that was very interesting. And Daniel Carson, him getting cut. A lot of people were tweeting me, man, the Vikings, they cut him immediately. I mean, they didn't show this man no mercy, no love. It's a business, people. It's a business. At the end of the day, if you're not producing, sorry, it's all about the bottom line. If you're not producing, we got to let you go. I mean, this man missed 3 field goals. He had more than enough opportunity to win it. And looking at what he missed it from, he had a 48 yard, 35, and a 49. 3. He missed all those 3 from that distance. No, he had to go. It's nothing personal. It's all business. One thing in life that you realize when it comes to business, you really got to understand to get your personal feelings out of it. Everything is just a business perspective. So yeah, he got cut on Monday, and rightfully so. I mean, that was tough to watch. And looking at Aaron Rodgers' face, he had a face of just like, what just happened here? I'd rather us just have lost this game and instead of it just being a tie. So I mean, it was an interesting game, but just to see in that, it was just like, wow. I mean, really, you missed 3 field goals. So yeah, that was end up in a tie, 29-29. So Kirk, I mean, he had a good game. He threw for 425 yards, 4 touchdowns, and you would think Kirk Cousins, I mean, throwing for that many yards and that many touchdowns, that should have been a win. Stephon Diggs, I mean, played phenomenal. Adam Thielen played great. But looking at that, it just wasn't enough, and they end up in a tie. So, needless to say, I mean, I know he's going to get another job. But, yeah, it's really going to be tough, especially being a rookie at that. Next was the Falcons and Panthers. As you know, I did go for the Panthers. I really thought Cam Newton and Christian McCaffrey, looking at them in game 1 with the Cowboys, it looked like, as I mentioned, their cohesiveness would have definitely rolled over to week number 2 against the Falcons. But the Falcons came, they played, and they got a win in that. And looking at that, it ended at 31-24. Even though Cam had over 335 yards, it just wasn't enough. Matt Ryan came, he looked great, and you got to give kudos really to the running back play. And Coleman, he had over 100 yards rushing. Great win. I mean, I definitely think the Falcons wanted this win badly, so they definitely get their rhythm back together, and I definitely think they're going to be making some noise. So watch out for the Falcons, man. I know they're going crazy. They're going crazy in the ATL. So great win. Next was The Texans and the Titans, you know, I said, Deshaun Watson, he's gonna bring it, man. They're gonna come. They're gonna be impressive, and they're gonna get a win against the Titans. But the Titans came, and you know what? Lesson to me. See, going for the Titans, living here in Texas, I'm trying to show them love and say, you know what? No, I think but they never felt a disappointment. 0-2, and you lose to the Titans 20-17. So great win for the Titans. Needless to say, Texas, what are you going to do? What are you going to do moving forward? What adjustments are you going to make? The clock is on. With no watch, the clock is on. Next is the Rams and the Cardinals. A great win for the Rams. I mean, they steamrolled the Cardinals 34-0. Jared Goff had over 354 yards. Great win. I was very impressed in their quarterback play. Their offensive rhythm was in sync all 4 quarters, and the Cardinals had no answer. They looked miserable. They looked unfocused. They just looked like they didn't even want to be on the field. So that's another team. What are you going to do? Something also got to happen. Larry Fitzgerald and those guys, time is ticking for you guys as well. And they just really look like, I don't know, they just look like a shell of themselves, and adjustments definitely need to be made immediately. Immediately. Next, 49ers and the Lions. Great win. I did predict Jimmy G and them to come out, get the win. They definitely did win 30-27. He had over 200 yards passing. Great win for the 49ers, and impressive just to see them go get that win against the Lions. The Lions, I don't know. It looked like they just may have the same year. There's nothing that the Lions can do that really would make me be impressed. I mean, looking at how they've been playing historically as well, what you're going to get from them. 7 wins, maybe 8 wins at that. But great win for the 49ers. Next, the Broncos and the Raiders. I did predict the Broncos to win, and they had a great win. It was 2019. Looking at Philip Lindsay, he had over 100 yards rushing. Great win for those guys. The Broncos, a lot of people are calling them the quiet storm. They're going to make some noise. Time will definitely tell, but I definitely know starting off the season in this win, that was a great win in that fashion. Next, as I mentioned, a game of the week, and if you guys noticed, I really felt like these two teams. It's a rivalry now at this point, and that was the Jag and the Patriots. And the Jaguars came; they were victorious. Great win, as I mentioned. The defensive presence, I knew they were going to go ahead and despite Tom Brady being the great that he is, it wasn't going to match. I feel like listening to how Jalen Ramsey was talking throughout last week, they came and they had something to prove, and they proved it. I mean, they were all over Tom Brady. They really couldn't do really too much. Now I know it's early in the season. They're going to definitely see each other again. I definitely know they're going to see each other in the playoffs, because I'm predicting they will definitely see each other. But I don't know, man. I just feel like the Jags this year have their number. They're gonna definitely make some noise. So can we all make some noise for all my Jaguar fans out there? Duval! One time for Duval, man. Great win. Next was the Cowboys and the Giants. I must say, great win. I did predict the Cowboys to win. They definitely came out, got a great win, even despite the running back play. I think Barkley only ended up, with 28 yards on 11 touches. It was a great win for the Cowboys, and they needed that win, especially after losing to the Panthers. So great win, and great start, 1-1. So that's good. Last but not least is the Monday night game. I predicted the Seahawks to win. I will probably never go for them again. No, I'm just joking. Great win for the Bears, though, 24-17. I must say, man, Russell Wilson, they definitely need to look at the offensive protection, man. He really doesn't have a lot of time to throw that ball. By the time he's saying hike, man, their defense was all over him, clobbering him. They couldn't really do nothing against them. And a great win for the Bears, man. Give it up to their defense, man. They always say defense win games, and they definitely showed up and showed out. So it was a great week in week number 2. As I mentioned, I ended up 9-6-1. So for the season so far, I am at 17 wins, 13 losses, 2 ties. So I must say I'm impressed. I could definitely do better. But tune in Tune in. I'm going to be definitely be uploading my predictions for week number 3. It's going to be a great week as the season progresses. It's going to be even more great matchups, more adjustments being made. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share the page. I'm going to definitely be uploading more content. I'm going to be talking about upcoming events in the battle rap world. And I've been getting a lot of emails. They want me to do some reactions to some freestyle. So look out for that. So it's going to be a lot of great content on my page. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share the page. Salute, salute, salute. Until we meet again and talk again. Thanks for tuning in.